I swear, I still remember the way she looked at me when she said it. No flinch, no guilt, no hesitation in her voice, like it was the most normal thing in the world. We were sitting in the apartment we'd picked out together, the one we painted ourselves last summer, arguing over which shade of blue would feel more coastal. The same apartment where I had proposed to her on one knee, with shaking hands exactly 11 months ago, and now. "My ex proposed to me yesterday," she said, gently placing her coffee on the table like she was discussing the weather. I said yes. That moment split my life in two. I blinked at her, trying to convince myself I'd heard it wrong. Maybe she meant to say he proposed and she laughed, or she said no. Maybe she was testing me, being cruel in some twisted joke I didn't understand. But she just sat there, calm still, like she had already moved on. I didn't say anything for a full minute. I couldn't. My throat had locked up. My mind was racing, trying to process what the hell had just happened. I felt like a car had hit me, but in slow motion, like I could feel every shard of betrayal slicing through me one by one. Double quotes, ... You said yes. I finally managed, though my voice sounded like it belonged to someone else. She nodded, eyes not even meeting mine. I didn't expect to, but when I saw him, everything came rushing back. I guess I never really got over him. I laughed. I don't know why. It wasn't funny. It was anything but funny, but that nervous. Sick kind of laughter spilled out of me, like my brain had short-circuited and didn't know how else to react. "You're kidding me," I said. "This is a joke, right? You're not serious." But she wasn't smiling. "I'm sorry," she said softly. "But I had to be honest with you. I owe you that much." Honest. After years of building a life together, after the promises we made, after introducing her to my mother, who finally liked someone I was dating, after talking about kids, about cities we'd moved to, after planning a wedding and picking out a stupid cake flavor, now she wanted to be honest? No, screw that. I stood up so fast the chair scraped across the floor, loud and harsh, like it was trying to wake me from a nightmare. My chest was tight, my hands trembling. I felt like I'd swallowed fire. "Get out." She looked up at me then like I'd slapped her. "What? You heard me? Get out of this apartment right now." She opened her mouth like she wanted to argue, but then she nodded. Just like that. No fight, no tears. She picked up her purse, like this had been her plan all along, and walked to the door, and then she was gone. The silence after she left was unbearable. It didn't feel like relief. It didn't feel like power, or vindication, or strength. It felt like something had been ripped out of me, like the air had been vacuumed out of the room, and all I had left was the echo of her voice, ringing over and over again. I said yes. Why? Why the hell did she say yes? We were happy, or at least I thought we were. Sure, we had our fights, but who doesn't? We had dreams. We had a future. I thought we were solid. I thought I knew her. God, how did I not see this coming? I replayed the last few weeks in my head, trying to find the signs I missed. That extra time on her phone, those late nights at work, the distant looks during dinner when I'd ask about her day, and she'd just smile and say it was fine. I chalked it up to stress. I never suspected. No, that's a lie. I did suspect something. I just didn't want to believe it. I ignored the signs because I loved her, because I trusted her. I feel like a fool. 3 days passed, she didn't call, didn't text, didn't come back to get her things. Her toothbrush was still in the bathroom. Her favorite hoodie, the one I used to wear when she wasn't home, was draped over the couch. And every time I looked at it, I felt that wave of nausea crash over me all over again. I couldn't eat, could barely sleep. I just kept seeing her face, hearing her voice say those words like they meant nothing. I tried to distract myself. Went out for drinks with friends, threw myself into work, binge-watched mindless shows, but nothing helped. I wanted answers. I wanted closure. But more than anything, I wanted to stop feeling like my heart had been ripped open and left to bleed on the floor. On the 4th day, she called. Her name popped up on my phone while I was in the middle of brushing my teeth. My hands froze. My stomach turned. I stared at the screen, breath shallow, unsure if I should answer, but I did. There was silence on the other end for a second. Then her voice. "I need to talk to you." I didn't say anything. I made a mistake, she said. No. No. She doesn't get to say that now. She doesn't get to come crawling back after choosing someone else. You said yes, I snapped. You chose him. That's not a mistake. That's a decision. I know, she said, and I could hear the crack in her voice this time. I know I don't deserve anything from you, but please, can we talk? Just once, in person. I hesitated. Every fiber in me screamed to hang up, to protect what little pride I had left. But I also needed to know. I needed to understand. Fine, I said. 1 hour. My place. Then you're gone. She showed up like a ghost. Pale, drawn, her eyes red and puffy like she hadn't slept in days. The confident calm from before was gone. She looked wrecked. I didn't offer her a seat. I stood, arms crossed, waiting. I found out something, she began, voice shaking. About him. You're about my ex. I didn't say anything. She swallowed. He didn't propose to me because he wanted to build a life. He did it to hurt you, to win. He told me yesterday he wanted to prove a point, that he could still have me, that you weren't good enough to keep me. Her voice cracked. I was stupid. I let old feelings blind me. I thought it meant something that he'd changed, that maybe he was the one I was meant to be with after all these years. But it was a game to him. And the second I said yes, he dropped me. I stared at her, my jaw clenched so tight it hurt. I wanted to scream, wanted to break something, but all I could do was stand there, frozen in place. He said he never loved me, she whispered. He just wanted to ruin us. She took a step toward me. I'm so sorry. I laughed again, the same hollow, bitter laugh. You destroyed everything we had for that. Tears filled her eyes, but I didn't care. I couldn't. I had already cried all the tears I had for her. I don't know what to say to make it right, she said. There's nothing you can say, I replied. The conversation ended not with shouting, but with silence. She tried to hug me, I pulled away. She asked if I'd ever forgive Hai. Didn't answer. She stood in the doorway, begging me to just consider giving her another chance. But I couldn't even look at her. Finally, she left. We're good this time. And I collapsed on the floor, heart heavy, body shaking. I don't know what hurts, Martha. Betrayal, or the fact that a part of me still loves her, but I'll never be the same again. I didn't leave the apartment much after that. Couldn't. Everywhere I went, something reminded me of her. The corner where we took that stupid photo in the rain. The grocery store where we had that fight over almond milk that we later laughed about. The park where we used to sit and talk about our future kids. A dog. Be a little garden in the backyard. It's insane how grief wraps itself around the most ordinary things. How it turns forks and pillows and old receipts into ghosts. I'd open a drawer and find a half-used lipstick she forgot. And just like that, I'd spiral all over again. But it wasn't just about losing her. It was about what she did, what she chose. She didn't cheat by accident. She didn't trip and fall into someone else's arms. No, she accepted a marriage proposal from a man who didn't even want her, who used her. Who looked me in the eye once and smiled like he knew something I didn't. And maybe he did. Maybe he saw her heart clearer than I ever could. That thought haunted me more than anything. 2 weeks passed. Then 3. My phone stayed silent. The apartment grew colder with every day she wasn't in it, but I didn't invite anyone over. I couldn't bear the thought of someone else sitting where she used to, laughing where she cried. Friends checked. In, sure. My best friend Jamie even offered to come stay the night after I sent him along. Drunken voice note I didn't remember recording, but I told him no. I didn't want company. I wanted answers. So one night, half lost in whiskey and heartbreak, I messaged her ex, yeah, I know, I shouldn't have. I knew I was poking a wound that hadn't even started to scab yet. But curiosity is poison when you're grieving. And I needed to know what kind of person could do something like that, just to ruin someone else's life. I stared at the blank message screen for a long time. Finally, typed, "You won. Hope it was worth it." He responded within seconds. Did I, though? That was it. Just those 4 words. I stared at my screen. heart pounding. Anger flared so fast I felt hot all over. You broke her. She came back crying, said you used her just to destroy what we had. This time he took longer. I didn't break her. She's always been like that. You just didn't want to see it. That hit like a punch to the gut. You mean manipulative? I shot back. He replied, I mean confused, addicted to attention. I didn't even try that hard. I just showed up, said a few sweet things, and she folded. That's not love, man. That's weakness. I wanted to throw my phone across the room. I wanted to scream, but more than anything, I hated that a part of me agreed with him. It took everything I had to block his number and delete the chat, because if I kept reading, I would have fallen deeper. I was already drowning. I spent the next few days thinking about everything our relationship, her past, the little red flags. I dismissed because I loved her too much to judge her. The ex she still followed on Instagram. The cryptic captions she sometimes posted when we fought. It's the fact that she never fully let him go, no matter how much she said she had, and now I was the one left behind. But you know what hurt the most? It wasn't just that she left. It's that she could. 1 month later, I got a letter in the mail, handwritten, no return address. Just my name. I recognized her handwriting instantly. My stomach twisted as I opened it, unsure if I even wanted to read what she had to say, but I did. I don't know if this letter will make it to you before you throw it away, but I had to. Write it. I had to tell you everything I was too much of a coward to say face to face. I took a deep breath and kept reading. You were everything I prayed for. You were kind, patient, loving in all the ways I didn't think I deserved. That's what scared me the most. You were real, and I wasn't ready for real. Not in the way I should have been. When my ex came back, he didn't even need to promise me anything. Just showing up made me forget what I had. Because I was so used to chasing love that I didn't know how to hold on to it when it was right in front of me. And I know that makes me sound selfish. I probably am. But I never meant to hurt you. I truly thought I loved you. Think I do, but I also think I don't know what love is. When he told me it was a game, I felt like I died, not just because I was humiliated, but because I realized I'd thrown away the only person who actually saw me, the real me, and still chose me. You didn't deserve any of this, and I will spend the rest of my life regretting what I did. But I hope one day you find someone who knows how to keep your heart safe, someone who won't confuse chaos. For passion, someone who won't flinch when love gets real. I'm sorry for everything. I didn't cry. I wanted to. But the tears didn't come. Instead, I folded the letter and set it down beside me, and I sat there staring at the wall for a long, long time. Closure is a funny thing. People talk about it like it's some magical moment where everything makes sense and you're finally at peace. But it doesn't happen all at once. Sometimes it comes in pieces. In long sleepless nights, in unexpected text messages, in letters that arrive when you least expect them. And sometimes it never fully comes at all. But that letter, it didn't fix anything. It didn't undo the betrayal, but it'd give me a truth I could carry. A reason. A confession. Maybe even a kind of apology that didn't ask for forgiveness but simply admitted the damage, and that mattered. It's been almost 6 months now. I moved out of the apartment, got a place across town, smaller, quieter, mine. I started running. Again, not to escape, but to feel something in my legs, in my chest. To remind myself that I'm still here, still moving, still capable of starting again. I met someone new last week. Her name's Leela. She laughs with her whole body and doesn't flinch when I talk about the past. I didn't tell her everything, not yet. But when she asked me what I'd been through, I just said, something that taught me what I won't settle for anymore. She smiled like she understood. Maybe she does. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know if I'll ever love like that again, with the kind of open-hearted innocence I had before everything shattered. But I do know this. I'll never let someone make me feel like an option again. I'll never chase someone who turns away. And I'll never, ever confuse unfinished business with true love. She made her choice, and now I'm making mine.